cruisers, welcome back to Cruising as Crew. I am here with Blade and he is a personal trainer on board cruise ships. So I'm going to be asking him a few questions about his job and hopefully he's going to tell us everything that you want to know. So hello Blade.
Hi there, how you doing?
Oh, good, thank you. How are you?
Fantastic.
Okay, amazing. We'll just get straight into it if that's all right with you.
All good.
Okay, perfect. What was it that drew you to being a PT on board cruise ships?
Well, I had been a personal trainer for a few years in Cape Town, South Africa, and then I just wanted a bigger challenge than just working from 4 a.m. till about 9 p.m. in the gym all day, every day. And I wanted something that could bring an element of traveling with it. And cruise ships was the most viable, whereby you're working, you're earning money, and you're still traveling. So that was the main thing that attracted me to it. And plus, getting paid in dollars was another advantage to it.
So how did you get your job as a PT on board a cruise ship?
So basically, you would find adverts online and stuff like that. And the company I work for, Steiner, has recruiting agents pretty much all over the world. So you just send your email and your CV and whatnot to apply for the job. And then if your CV was okay, I suppose, or acceptable, then they would call you in for an interview. You do your first round of interviews where they'd ask you basic questions to make sure that you are knowledgeable enough to work on the ship and whatnot. And then they would do a second interview where it was like a practical phase, like to know that you can put a training program together and stuff like that. And then if you were successful, then you would either go for training in South Africa or you'd go for training in the UK. And I opted to go for training in the UK. And I was there for about 3-4 weeks, where basically you get taught on how to structure and deliver the seminars, the classes, all of that. And then they assign you your first ship and then you get started.
Amazing. Can I ask why you opted to go to the UK instead of doing the training in South Africa?
It served my purpose of wanting to travel. What was if I wanted a job that's going to make me travel and I had an opportunity to leave the country right there and then, why would I not take it? It was either I wait for like 6 months for the training in South Africa, because it happens once a year, and throughout the whole year it happens in the UK. So I was like, I can go for training earlier, I can get to a ship much more quicker than waiting 6 months to do the training. So that's why I opted for that.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the personal trainer training like at the Steiner Academy in London?
It was intense, to be honest. It was very intense because when you get there, you realize everything that you knew didn't matter. Your 10 years worth of experience literally came down to zero on the cruise ship training. But it also opened your mind and your eyes to other avenues of fitness. It wasn't just about picking up weights and being able to run. It was about understanding the mechanics of the body, how your kidney, your liver, all of that in the bigger scheme of things are actually pivotal in your fitness journeys per se. And also the selling element of working on cruise ships, because most personal trainers are like maybe 10% salespeople, because in order to get clients, you have to sell yourself, and that's literally all you have to do. But now in cruise ships, you have to sell products in bulk and stuff like that. So that was a bit of a shock, I would say. It was different. And for most personal trainers, I think are really never prepared for that. And that's where the biggest challenge was, changing over to being talking and all that. And usually in the gym, you're talking to your one client. And now all of a sudden, you have to speak to like 50 people at once. So a lot of people struggle with that transition. So that for me was the hardest part about the whole training thing.
Yeah, I think me too, actually. The public speaking, when I did the training, I was like, it was a lot. It was a lot.
For me, it wasn't that much of a thing, because in high school I did debating and stuff like that. So we would debate in front of schools and all of that. Okay. So fortunately, it wasn't that much of a struggle, but still though, the idea of talking about something new in front of people was a bit daunting, because you only develop confidence over a topic that you are confident about. So when you're talking about things that you had no idea about, then it becomes really, really sketchy.
Yeah, definitely. How many contracts did you do as a PT?
I did 4 actually,
Wow.
which was very shocking.
Yeah, wow. And they were all 9 months?
My first one was the longest. My first one was I was working on Royal Caribbean, and I was doing a contract over Asia, including the 3-4 weeks I did of training. By the time I got back home, I had been gone for a year and 1 day.
What?
I know, eh? But then again, the advantage was that I traveled Asia, starting from Japan all the way down to Thailand. So I couldn't miss out on that.
No, of course. But you must have been burnt out when you got home.
Yeah, I think I took like 3 months out where I was just doing absolutely nothing, just seeing family and friends because I'd been gone for that long. It was my first time having been gone that long. So yeah, I took 3 months out and then I got back into it.
And how long? Yeah. So you did 4 contracts, and obviously the first vacation you had 3 months. The vacations after that, were they 3 months or 2 months? Like, what was your normal vacation time?
For me, it was an average of 3 months.
3 months, okay.
Throughout all my contracts, because especially with me or in the fitness, and there's only usually like 2 people, and it gets physical. Like when you put all the classes together, and your body takes a toll. So you need the time out. You need the break. It's not something that you can go away for 3 weeks and then come back into it. Then you would definitely burn out.
Yeah. No, you need the time to recover. Obviously, for your first contract, you just get put on a ship. Steiner decides for you. But after your first contract, were you able to decide what ship you went on?
Pretty much, because what would happen is you'd give them 4 options of the type of ship that you'd want to go to, and then you would choose which one best fits in your timeline of wanting to go back. However, the director of fitness could overrule your request if they felt that you are better equipped for a certain ship, and then they would then send you to that ship.
And was your uniform provided?
No, we bought our uniform. It was paid for. Yeah, we paid for our uniforms.
You got it at the Steiner Academy?
Yeah. So basically, you went in and you paid for the training and everything like that, and then obviously paid for your uniform, and then they give it to you there before you left for your ship. And then if you needed extras or anything like that, you could place an order online, and then they would send it to the vessel, basically.
Okay, all right, brilliant.
Yeah.
What was your first day on board like? On your first ship?
That was it was a nightmare, like
really?
Literally a nightmare. So I was obviously in Asia, right? And most of the workers were also Asian.
Mm-hmm.
So I got into the spa, and the manager had also just gotten off that morning. So there was an acting assistant manager, and the other fitness had also just left. So there was no one to kind of show me the ropes in the gym and whatnot. And right there and then, when you get in, I got in about 10-ish, 11-ish, and we started work at about 12. So got in there, got introduced to the team and everything, and then I needed to go set up the gym. No one knew where the music was, how to set up the music and stuff like that, because it wasn't part of their job. They didn't need to know that, but there was no one there to show me how to do that. There were no mics set up. Can you imagine doing a spinning class without a mic? You know, that was my first like couple of days at work. It was hectic, but I figured it out and everything like that. So eventually I went on fine. I actually was the first non-Asian fitness to finish a contract in Asia.
Really? What? Everyone quit?
Yeah, everyone would quit. It did cross my mind also, because one, in order to deliver your seminars, you need a translator, because most of the people that come there speak Mandarin.
Oh God.
You know, and then with every single sale that I did, I needed to have a translator. So that means I was taking someone out of their job, so that I was kind of minimizing their opportunity of making money for me to make money. You know, it was tricky in that sense, but yeah, look, we managed.
Well done, you. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was hectic, I tell you.
Yeah, no, I bet. And a whole year. Shit.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's intense.
But I made good friends because in the sport team, there were 3 internationals.
Yeah.
It was me from South Africa, and Taylor from Australia, and Emma from the UK. We were the 3 amigos, and we were the only non-Asians in the sport team for that whole year. So they made it easier.
Right, so can you please go through a normal embarkation day as a personal trainer? On a non-Asian ship, on a normal ship where you don't have to have a translator.
Okay, fair enough. We'd have our meeting at 12, and then the spa manager would obviously conduct the meeting and tell the goals, their targets, and the expectations for the cruise and all of that. And then after the meeting is done, we'd go down to the gym and we'd start setting up. Like most of the setup would have been done the day before, like sign-up sheets for the classes and seminars and the schedule for those 7 days or for however long the cruise is. And then basically at about 1:30, 2 p.m., that's when most of the guests start coming in. And basically our main responsibility for that day, we try to get as many people interested in our seminars so that they can come and attend. And also the classes. Most of the classes would fill themselves up because people generally do yoga. People generally do spinning, boot camp, and people that are active, if there's a gym, they'll go to it. So that wasn't really the challenge. The challenge was telling people that they need to take an hour out of their vacation to come listen to me talking about detoxing. And the most common question you'd get is, why would I want to hear about detoxing when I'm on a holiday and all I'm here for is to drink and eat, and you want to tell me I should not drink and eat, so why would I do that? So convincing people to come and listen to us, that was the biggest challenge.
How did you overcome that?
Well, it was you as you grew in the industry, you develop certain tactics that would inspire questions. Like, for example, if you're coming along and you have a beer in your hand, I would start the conversation by asking, do you know that you're currently putting on unnecessary weight from that beer? Tastes fantastic, but 20 years, 30 years later, it's going to catch up to you, you know? So, and then I'll be like, do you want to know how you can continue drinking your beer without having to suffer the consequences long-term wise? And most people will be like, kind of making sense. And then that would kind of start the conversation in the right direction, you know? So it had its up and downs. Sometimes it was not easy, but it happened. We managed.
Yeah, okay. Do you have any classes on Embarkation Day? Or is Embarkation Day just kind of like talking to people and getting them interested?
It's mainly that. However, on some of the ships that I've been on, I did, like for example, even the one in Asia, I would have a demo class on Embarkation Day because generally exercise wasn't really a big thing in Asia. In like gym exercise, they enjoyed the Tai Chi, the martial arts, and the walking and stuff like that, but not picking up weights or doing aerobics. So what I would do is I would invite all the crew members right after the drill, and I would do a free class, either boot camp, spinning, aerobics, or whatever, so that people can see that it's not just about picking up weights. There's other forms of fitness that you can do in the gym, and also it's not as serious as it looks. It can also be fun, you know. So the dancers made it much more easier for me, like the entertainers, because they themselves they enjoy being fit, and they are very loud people, so they made it look fun. So they made it easy.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right, can you go through a normal sea day, please, as a personal trainer?
Sea days were hectic. That much I can tell you. So you would start off at 7 o'clock with your stretch class. morning stretch, that's usually 30 minutes, 25 minutes. And then you do an abs class, just doing core exercises for another 20, maybe 30 minutes. And then at 8 o'clock, you do either yoga or Pilates. And then at 9 o'clock, you do either boot camp or you do spinning. Yeah. And then at 10 o'clock, you do probably another class depending on the schedule on that specific vessel. And then the other trainer basically that did the morning classes would start setting up in one of the areas for the seminar, because the seminar would usually be around 11 o'clock, just before lunch, so that people don't walk out of your seminar to go eat or something like that. So we'd do it around 11, and then basically after around about 12ish, you would go and have lunch, and from 1 o'clock till roughly about 4 o'clock, you're doing your consultations, basically people that would come in and want to talk to you in relation to their health and fitness, whether it be from the seminar or someone that had questions during embarkation day or whatever. People that want to lose weight, gain muscle, have health issues, and they just want to broaden their understanding or knowledge. And then basically you would equip them with whatever tools you have for them to start making the changes that they want to make, basically. And then at 4, we'd usually have an afternoon, either yoga or Pilates. And then at 5, we do like an afternoon stretch or afternoon abs, something like that. And then around 6ish, you would probably go have dinner. And then you would come back and you would finish off your day, do your paperwork, do your receipts, do what you need to do to finish your day. And then usually around 8ish or so, that would be the end of the day. And then for most people, for most trainers, you leave work, you go change, and then you go back to the gym and you have your own workout after all of that.
Oh my God. Mad. Okay, can you go through a port day, please? A normal port day.
Port days were the easy days, but they were more profitable, if that makes sense, because it's not a strict regiment day, whereas you would wake up at 7 again and you start off doing your morning class, whether it be stretch or abs, and then you would do like either yoga or Pilates or spinning at 9 o'clock, and then literally you have the rest of the afternoon to try generate as much revenue as you can, in the sense that if you have too many consultations on your C day, then you'd move them over to a pot day where you're not pressed for time. For example, you don't have to see someone in the next 20 or 30 minutes. You can actually spend an hour with them and like invest more in the time as per se. And then also it gives you an opportunity to go around the vessel, talk to people, engage to people, and let people know that there's actually a gym and all of that. So it's just a little bit much more easier in that sense. Yeah. But then again, you could also be off on the pod day, so you could have half a day off or you could have the full day off. So it also just varied on how you manage your time, basically.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. What would you do your seminars on? So I know there was the detox seminar and there was the Good Feet seminar.
Yeah.
So can you go into detail about those just a little bit?
Well, basically, most of our seminars were structured on getting the body healthier from the inside, because generally people are more worried about how they look, about their tummy size and thighs and hips and all that stuff. Whereas you'd find that generally all of that is influenced by the mechanics of the body internally.
Okay.
So most of our seminars were, basically structured to create an awareness that your liver, for example, plays a major role in your overall health.
Yeah.
For example, being a lady, if you have skin problems, generally what do? You go to a store and you buy beauty products. But you need to realize that your blood fits your skin.
Yeah.
So if your blood is on the acidic side, then your skin will obviously break out and not be as healthy looking as it should be. So then instead of putting cream on your skin, the idea would be to clean your body and make it much more healthier so that you don't have the skin problems.
Yeah.
You know, it was just teaching people a different approach to being healthy. Yeah, and the good fit was more of people with joint pains and stuff like that, just to ease the discomfort of joint pain. Basically, that's what it really was about in a nutshell.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
From the detox seminar, on a good day, how many like BCA consultations would you be able to book?
On a good day, anything from 7 to 12.
Okay, that's really good.
On a good day, yeah. And that's usually coupled. So you'll be sitting with at least 2 people for about 30, 45 minutes max.
Okay. And do you prefer a couple, or like, is it easier with a couple or easier with a single person, or?
It depends. It depends, because for some couples, you can make your own financial decisions without asking the other partner. And for some couples, there's always that thing, but I need to talk to my partner. We need to discuss and whatnot. But if you have both of them there, they can make a decision right there and then whether to go on with the plan or not, you know. So it was always easier. And we've always had a saying that success comes in pairs. And is in the sense that you're better off being healthier together rather than one person eating a salad and then the person eating, I don't know, pizza next to them, you know. Yeah. So it made more sense to have the couple there.
So, do you mind me asking about the salary?
No, that's not a problem. Basically, with the company I worked for, they said that they would give you a basic of $800 should you fail to make it yourself.
Right.
Yeah, and in most cases, for most trainers, you should be able to make $800 in a week, really.
Right.
So they never really had to pay most trainers, but as I say, on average, you should be able to double that in a month. So it was never really an issue.
So you can't earn less than $800, but really there is no salary. It is all commission based.
Yeah, pretty much. And you are made aware of that at the training, you know. So it's not like you go in there unbeknown that you are just purely working on commission, but they always gave you that cushion of, should you not be able to make more than 800, we will give it to you, in the sense that at least you will have spending money and stuff like that, you know. So it won't be that bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Although for the amount of hours you work, if you're making $800 a month, it's not worth it.
No, definitely not. But then again, if I was able to make more than $800 a month in Asia,
yeah,
then why would any trainer struggle to do that, you know? So, not to say I was never the best of the trainers. I never made crazy money like other trainers did, but I was consistent in the sense that I made sufficient money for myself. So any other trainer should have been able to do that, or had the opportunity at least to do that.
Yeah. Do you share a cabin as a personal trainer?
Yeah. For a few of the ships I worked on, yeah, I did have a roommate, and it's usually a hairdresser. With some of the guys, black barbers. Yeah, usually at most it's been
the barbers.
A barber, hairdresser. Yeah, at most. But then I've been fortunate also to have like a cabin to myself, and just share a bathroom. Yeah, so it's been lucky like that.
How much time off do you get?
The time off, it was it depended, but you were getting a day and a half off on a 7-day cycle.
Mm-hmm.
But depending on other factors, you could always get more. Like if you made enough revenue on your C day, you could get half a day or something like that, or you could get a certain amount of hours off, which added to your half day could sometimes give you a full day off, you know. So for me, I felt it was enough time off, and plus I wasn't there for the time off, I was there for work and to make money.
Yeah.
So that was never really an issue for me.
Did you ever get stressed about hitting target? Was that ever something you got worried about, or?
Yeah, because I think about 30% of the spa's revenue came from fitness.
Right.
So if the spa wasn't performing, it would be then expected for fitness to bring in maybe 40% or 50% of the revenue, because we were in a position to bring in large numbers.
Yeah.
That means that if you have a couple in, you can easily come out with anything between $1,000 to $2,000 in that period. So if you have 6 people or 6 couples, and they're all leaving, let's say, $1,000, so that means we have about 6,000 worth of revenue for the day. So if things are bad in the spa, then fitness would have a lot of the stress, pretty much. Yeah. So there was a bit of stress with targets and stuff, especially on the bigger vessels.
Yeah. What was the biggest ship you worked on?
It was on Allure of the Seas, which
okay.
then was, I think it was second, if not the biggest ship in the world, before Sydney and Harmony and all the other ships. Yeah. But I didn't stay long there. I was there for like three months or so.
Okay.
And then I opted to go to a smaller vessel, because that's what I was used to, and I was more comfortable with that. On the bigger vessels, it was hectic. Like the stress, it took the fun out of the job. So that's why I was like, it wasn't the right fit for me.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. And do you think you can make more money on the bigger ships or the smaller ships? Or does it just depend on the personal trainer?
It depends on the personal trainer, because that theory has been proven so many times, where they would take, like, if you're on a small boat and you see guys on the bigger ships making bigger numbers, in your head, you're like, I want to go to a bigger ship so I can make those numbers. And then you get there and you realize on a small boat, your target is 5, maybe 7,000 on 7 days. But on a bigger boat, your target is 15,000 on the same amount of days. And then you realize that's how they make those numbers. The targets are bigger. The stress is much more. Yes, they have more people on the boat, but then also those people have more options than they would on a smaller boat. So it doesn't matter. It just depends on the trainer, on how they implement their business and stuff like that. So it makes no difference on what size of your boat you are. It just comes down to you as a trainer.
What would your advice be to anyone wanting to work for Steiner as a personal trainer?
Well, if you're thinking about it, go for it. You have nothing to lose. Because at the end of the day, 1, you're going to be gaining experience. 2, you'll be traveling. And also, there's a lot of room for personal growth, because once you interact with other nationalities and you see things and you experience things, it does bring in an element of personal growth. So if you really are sitting there and you're wanting to explore it, you've got absolutely nothing to lose. I mean, try it out. Do 1 contract, because that's what everyone says. They'll do 1 contract and then they'll stop, and then 4 contracts later, you're still at it, you know. Yeah. So if you're thinking about it, go for it.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. I was like, maybe I'll do it for a year, and 5 years later, I'm still doing it. So.
I know. Even like after my 3rd contract, I was like, you know what? I'm over this. Let me try settle down and be a normal person.
Yeah.
That didn't last long either. I was like, you know, I'm a seaman. I'm going back to sea, and that's it. But yeah. So if anyone is thinking about it, go for it.
Okay, amazing. Okay. What is your favorite and least favorite thing about being a PT on board?
The best thing about being a PT anyway is the fact that you can spend your whole day in the gym. If you're a fitness person, the one thing you want to do is be in the gym all day. Okay. And the best thing about being on a ship, you got paid to be in the gym the whole day. Like, that was the best thing about it. And for me, one thing that I didn't like, which put me off at times, was the spa managers. Most of them didn't understand gym, didn't understand the mechanics of running the whole thing about gym. For them, it was numbers, bringing revenue and stuff like that. And sometimes it wasn't as easy as they would expect it to be.
Yeah.
And that always brought a little bit of frustration into the job. But eventually, it's either they learn and get to understand, or you as a trainer, you just suck it up and do what you have to do. You know, that for me was a little bit of a dislike to it, at least. Yeah.
And then, what is your favorite and least favorite thing about working and living on a cruise ship?
My favorite thing was the element of meeting people. Like, there's no way in the world right now that I potentially don't know someone.
Yeah.
Like literally having worked on ships for 4 years and having met such a wide variety of people. So that was the one thing about it. And the one thing I didn't like was that if you're not a big drinker, there wasn't really much for you to do so on the social side of things, because it was just a crew bar, you know?
Yeah.
So that at some point got a little bit iffy. That's why I just spent more time in the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well,
yeah.
Those are all my questions.
Oh, good.
Thank you very much for doing it.
No stress. I just hope you got everything you wanted.
Thanks, Blade. See you later.
Cheers. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.